Hello. So thank you for joining us today. My name is Michelle. I'm the Marketing and Community Engagement Specialist here at Symbaloo. Today I have two very special educators talking about the importance of women in STEM. So let me go ahead and, all right. So I have Jillian Johnson and Niamh Brady. Hi, Jillian, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful.
Great. So let me see if Niamh is able to join as well. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm so glad to be here. This is really exciting.
I'm really excited to talk about this topic and kind of get into it as well. So, Jillian, where are you joining us from today?
I am in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, the weather is beautiful outside. We had some rain and it kind of brought in a little cold front for us. So I've been loving it because I don't particularly enjoy the really hot, humid weather that's
Hmm.
coming up around the corner, but no, it's been really nice.
That's good to know. I know spring is just around the corner. I'm very excited.
Yes.
So, of course, a reason why we wanted to do this Twitter space is because I know we just had International Women's Day, and this month is also Women's History Month. So, we definitely wanted to, definitely have a discussion just about women in STEM and just the amazing things that women can do. And I know STEM isn't normally, a career or a subject that women kind of gravitate to. So I think it's very cool to have this discussion and kind of get into it more.
I completely agree. The awareness and, just having more outlets and opportunities for, just the representation and seeing, what's out there and what are we lacking? What can we improve on? I mean, those conversations we need to keep having those conversations.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So we'll start a little bit, Jillian, if you don't mind, just give me a little background on yourself and what made you get into STEM and or what your interest is in STEM in general.
Sure. Well, my name is Jillian Johnson, and I'm an educator in Orlando, Florida. I've been teaching for about 9 years now, and I've always been one to kind of describe myself, I guess, as a little bit nerdy, kind of more of a tomboy in a sense. Like, I was one that, was friends with more boys and, played video
Hmm.
games, and I was into sports. But I mean, I still played with Barbies when I was little, and I still, enjoy dressing up, and
Right.
so in the classroom as a teacher, my students, particularly my girl students, they really were drawn to that. And the boys too, they really appreciated the fact that they would see me embrace my feminine side. I would usually wear dresses and things at work. But you would see me on the basketball court playing with my boy students and, trying to get some of the girls to
Hmm.
play with us. And, it I just would try to, show that authentic side to my students and have that kind of model for them.
Right.
And STEM within education and, whenever I would use it within my classroom, I mean, I fell in love with STEM from the beginning.
Hmm.
Um, so, I mean, I guess I would say back, when I first started teaching, I
Hmm.
was at a Title I school, and we were visited by, it was like a resource teacher from our district. And she was essentially trying to just introduce what STEM was to these Title I schools.
Hmm.
And like I said, I just kind of fell in love with it from the beginning. I'll never forget when she came into us, all of the teachers were very apprehensive to try it because it seemed from the outside like very foreign, and it seemed like a lot of hard work
Right.
when she started talking about, okay, you need, this many popsicle sticks, and, you're going to want to, just pose the problem to your students, but you cannot, explain to them how to solve it. And
Oh.
that was very hard for a lot of the teachers. Um, but when it came to the actual design challenge, it was all based on the gingerbread man. So we read the story of the gingerbread man, and we had the students design a car or any vehicle, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
to get the gingerbread man away from the fox so he, lives happily ever after and doesn't get eaten.
Right.
So we tried tying in, the science and the math with, literature and, really connect everything together. So, again, seeing all of this kind of come to life, seeing my students face this challenge, and they had to communicate with their classmates, they had to stay organized, they had to, push through their failures that they experienced, and, connect those concepts that they learned in class with the real world experiences. I mean, everything that I, loved about teaching, I was seeing in this experiment.
Mm-hmm.
It was like magic. I mean, I thought, this is learning in its most purest form. Like, I'm seeing everything getting, all the dots getting connected, and it was amazing. I thought, this is what every classroom needs. This is what all of the children need to be, experiencing. And yeah, I was a big enthusiast for STEM from then.
I love that. That's very cool. And I think that's a very different approach to the things that maybe we normally learn in elementary school and things like that.
Definitely.
Hmm. So I do think that Niamh has joined us. So hi, Niamh.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jillian. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there.
No, don't worry about it. I'm so happy that you can join us.
Thank you.
So
Happy Pi Day.
yes, happy Pi
Yay.
Day. So I know Jillian gave us a little bit of background on how she, got into STEM. So Niamh, if you don't mind introducing yourself, telling us your kind of background with STEM as well.
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Ireland, and my background is primary school teaching, but I'm actually working in a special school now, and I've been teaching altogether since 2006.
Oh wow.
And a few years, yeah, a long time now. I've always had an interest in STEM, and like Gillian, I was a bit of a tomboy myself, and very inquisitive and wants to know how things work. And actually, at Christmas, Santa Claus would bring me like STEM kits.
Oh cute.
So yeah, I got nearly something STEM related every year. And then I studied all the science subjects in secondary school, which is your high school, and I even went to an open day in a university in their computer science department.
Hmm.
But then I wasn't brave enough because I thought I needed to be really good at maths. I thought it was just a male orientated career.
Hmm.
So I went down the teaching route. And a few years ago, I did a STEM postgrad for educators, but I got such an itch to know more about coding that I actually went back 2.5 years ago and did a computer science degree.
Oh
So I'm actually
wow.
now technically a software developer, but I'm
Very
still obviously
cool.
in education.
Okay.
Yeah, and I kind of did it for myself, and kind of raging I didn't do it all those years ago, but I kind of have the best of both worlds now.
Yeah, definitely. And it's always better late than never, I think.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
I love that. That's a very cool background and story. So let's definitely just get into the subject. So again, I just want to preface that I know that you both are educators and this is all opinion based. And so this is, these are all things that we think just as women and for you guys as women who do work in STEM and work in education. So I just wanted to preface that very quickly. So for both of you, what do you both think is the importance of women in STEM?
I would definitely say, women bring unique talents and perspectives that are otherwise missed when it's, dominated by a male, just one gender.
Hmm.
I mean, we need that diversity, especially if we're looking for, what STEM does. It's looking for that greater innovation. And I don't really think that's going to happen very easily if, you're limiting what experiences or what talents or minds are involved in that problem solving challenge.
Hmm.
I think it just requires that diversity.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I'd agree too. And just like even to have a female perspective and to bring a different dimension to like the STEM world. And I also think then if children see and students see women in STEM, then they have role models to admire and look up to, and they can see that a future in STEM is possible for women. So I think that's another important reason to have women in STEM.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And I think I like the route that you both took. And Niamh, I know that you ended up doing kind of a different career path later in life as well. I also think that's really great to, talk to young women about, because I think, especially in America, there's a certain kind of like path that we have to take. You go to elementary school, then high school, and then you have to go to a college. You have to figure out what you want to do when you're 18. And I think, and I like that you both went through the kind of education route. And maybe if some young women wanted to maybe become teachers, they could still, do those subjects that they really love, but then incorporate education as well. So there are, many avenues that you could take. You don't have to, study biology or, study a crazy science in college. There are definitely different avenues to take.
Right. And we don't really know about those until we see it, whether
Yeah.
it's seeing it on screen or hearing about it from our cousin or, I mean, we just need that awareness and that visibility to, I guess, just expand our perceptions on it.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think like definitely took the scenic route even into teaching. I think yeah, you learn a lot more, and I think you have a lot more experiences and life experiences, and then you're kind of introduced to different options, and maybe you're not as pigeonholed if you go directly into one particular route. You have a more broader all around education then as a result, and you can, I don't know, expand into different areas then.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. Yes, I totally agree. So, what advice would you give to young women who are interested in pursuing STEM?
I think
And I
it
go,
just keeps
sorry.
going back to that authenticity, just having them be themselves. I mean, with any career, really, I feel like it's not, exclusive to STEM fields, but, I imagine our world, if everyone was not trying to conform a certain way and,
Hmm.
they were, expressing that unique part of them that, sets them apart from others. I mean, if we are constantly doing that, I don't know. I think that does the greatest disservice to not just ourselves, but literally every other aspect of our lives. The authenticity has to be respected in order to allow, real innovation to develop with whatever that challenge is. And again, STEM does such a amazing job at, um, approaching those challenges and figuring out an innovative way to, get through it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I suppose I would just tell girls, like especially like my situation, just to never give up, and to just put yourself out there. And like STEM is all about like failures, the or yeah, it's the
Hmm.
first step to
Hmm.
learning. So it's all about like keep trying, and you learn from your mistakes, and that's what problem solving and debugging and everything is about. And join STEM clubs, and explore what options are out there in your locality. And there's like here, I don't know about the US, but here in Ireland, there's so many opportunities now, and it's fabulous to see. There's lots of after school STEM clubs. There's and a lot of them are voluntary run as well. So it's just fantastic what is available there. So just get out there and see what's available to you, and join, and don't be afraid.
Yes.
Yes, there's definitely more like awareness and like those clubs that you were mentioning. That was not around, when I was even in school.
Hmm.
If you look back, 15 years ago, I wish those things were available.
Mm,
Who knows what path I would have taken if I did go that route. um it's just and seeing those, the other women that are out there, like we were saying before, just having um more opportunities to be able to see what women can do and how well they can do it.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. And I think with our younger generations, I'm a millennial myself, and seeing like Gen Z, we are now definitely doing more of the things that we want to do in life, and taking
Mm-hmm.
those different routes. And I think that that is really cool. And I think these next generations are just going to be growing these different, usual like male-oriented careers and jobs. And I think we're going to be seeing so many more women in different types of careers that we didn't before, so STEM included.
Definitely. That's exciting.
It's very
Mm.
exciting. And I think kind of going into the next question, talking more about, how do girls' beliefs and our motivations change as we grow? And I think, Niamh, that you're a perfect example of that, because you went kind of an education route, and then, later you did decide, wait, I could still do this. There's no age limit, and there's no limit in learning as well. And I think that's very cool to see as you get older. Even myself, I'm almost 30, and I would think, the thing that I studied in college is not really something that I love as much now, or maybe I want to go back and study something completely different. So I think it's very cool to see, different women doing that as well.
Yeah, like it's never too late to pursue an area of interest, and I suppose life's all about having no regrets either. So
Yes.
yeah, I definitely have no regrets now for doing it, and I'm actually delighted that I did do it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was always wondering, it was always a question mark about that area.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little reward in, doing something that is less charted,
Yes.
doing something
Mm.
that is not the typical. I mean, that was part of, my motivation in doing a lot was, what? Nobody's doing that? Well, I want to do that. I want to try
Yeah.
it. And not to say that's going to go away with, more opportunities for girls and more awareness in the gender gap and trying to reduce it. I don't think that we're going to completely lose out on, um, that, I guess, unique difference there.
Hmm.
But I mean, we're definitely in the right direction. It's just like we were just saying, it's going to be interesting to see how things unfold, and um how long it takes, I guess, in
Yeah.
different areas. I mean, this is not a this is a global thing. I mean, we have Nim over here from Ireland, and I think that's amazing, because it's just showing how this is a global issue. It is not
Right.
you know uh limited to one part of the world.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And to just kind of piggyback off of, our former or newer generations coming in, and kind of seeing, I was on TikTok the other day, and I saw this girl who works for Google, and she's 21. And I think that that's just really cool to see. First of all, she's extremely young and extremely talented. And even though I'm not in that career, and in that, subject, I think it's just so awesome to see. And everybody in the comments was just encouraging her and just giving her so many kind words. And if I was in high school seeing that, I would be
Mm.
extremely motivated, even though maybe I didn't want to go into STEM. So I think a lot more people are also showing us that it is possible.
Mhm.
You don't have to be the smartest person ever. You can still absolutely, do the career that you want.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's really important. Yeah, because
Hmm.
I always thought maths, I had to be really, really good at maths, and
Right, right.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, what do you guys think educators can do to bring more awareness to STEM for young women?
Um, well, I think maybe first of all, educators probably need to upskill in that area.
Hmm.
Because now I know, like, pre-service teachers in Ireland now coming out, they have that experience in teacher training college, whereas like maybe 10 years ago, teachers wouldn't have had that exposure to the STEM world.
Hmm.
Like the pre-service teachers actually go on a STEM placement in like Microsoft or
Oh, okay.
um yeah, they actually spend, so they can, when they're teaching students then at primary level, elementary level, they can actually talk about STEM careers in the real world with like proper conviction, because they have been in that environment. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's really a really good strategy, and I know we have a national strategy here as well about increasing more STEM experiences in schools. So I think if teachers upskill in that area, then they can make lessons more, well, they have the knowledge then, and they can empower children then with the lessons that they teach, the STEM lessons, and to make it more, yeah, to make it inclusive, accessible, and fun. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah,
Like STEM
absolutely.
is fun.
That's very cool
Yeah.
too. Mhm.
Yeah, just any of, the visibility, like we keep saying, providing more, models and ways for them to be a part of it.
Mm.
Too many, things are prevented when we are just going off of what we were always led to believe, or what,
Mhm.
our biases might be. And, just building access to more of these role models that are out there. And again, the internet is a perfect example
Right.
of instant access to, global role models, right? It's Those are all powerful, in towards going in the right direction of dispelling these gender stereotypes. Um,
Mhm.
and, providing a support system, and look at what we're doing right now. Here we are communicating, live in real time. I'm in Florida, she's in Ireland. I mean, we're all over right
Right,
now, and we
right.
have listeners from everywhere. And, it is just solidifying that support system in a sense. I
Mhm.
mean, it's little actions and big actions together that, will continue to make those changes.
Yes, I completely agree. And I think about, my mom, and I think when she was in high school in the 70s, and they didn't really talk about university. She said, her counselors were only giving her community college pamphlets and things like that. And they never really
Mhm.
spoke to them about doing something, better with their lives and different opportunities. And I think even when I went to high school, it was very much university oriented and doing uh, the very simple, like either you're going to do business, you're going to go for med school, you're going to go for, just very like just the usual majors.
Mhm.
And so I think, especially, through the pandemic, we have this whole new wave of educators coming in that are, younger, that are have a whole different mindset. So I think, the future generations, the students that are just going to be exposed to so many different things that maybe we weren't, when we were in
Mhm.
school. So I think that's very exciting to see.
Yeah,
To
it's definitely hard as, a woman. I mean, I'm also a mom. I have three
hmm
boys, and it's a challenge
Yeah,
to, handle the demands of, home life and your family life and, your work life, but also, you know, trying not to um, sacrifice certain things for the greater good of the others.
right. Yes. hmm
It's a challenge, and I know, my husband, he's a teacher as well. I know that he feels it in the same way, but really it's not the same way. There's
Exactly.
just
Exactly.
something else about being the mom and being the woman that, puts it's just different,
Of course. Right.
and um so, again, I feel strongly about, you know, um like the whole reason we're here and doing it for Women's History Month. We do need more awareness with that, and ways to kind of get creative with the flexibility and honoring what these, differences are, because all of these things that I'm trying to explain about, being a woman and, the challenges with home life and family life and work life, those are actually part of our amazing qualities that do make us so strong in fields such as STEM. That
Yes.
multitasking, that
Absolutely.
problem solving, that perseverance. And I mean, and that empathy, that is a huge thing, especially when you're talking about design thinking. you know the empathy and caring about others and thinking of others, similar to motherly instincts. Those are all things that you can't teach in a textbook.
Right.
I
Of
mean,
course. hmm
you need to see it modeled. You need to, be in experiences that make you, use those qualities. I mean, yeah, there's just a lot to it than, it just being girls and boys. I mean, it's a pretty big package.
Yes. Definitely, definitely. So on that note, I didn't want to take too much of your guys' time, but I wanted to thank you both so much for joining us today and discussing this wonderful topic. I think we were able to tackle some really good subjects and talk about some really great things. So thank you both.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
Oh, this was amazing, Michelle.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, everything leading up. And like I said, just having us kind of, you know, build that connection and see what effects it could have in towards, advancing things. I think that's just amazing.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I hope that educators who follow Symbaloo or who use Symbaloo are able to see this and maybe share it with their own students or just kind of maybe gain another perspective and also share that with their students as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and have a great rest of Women's History Month. So thank you so much again.
Yay.
Thanks,
Thank
Michelle.
you so much, Michelle.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.